Welcome to the YouTube channel of UET. Today we will be discussing the previous year question papers of CUET UG entrance examination in relation with the general awareness part. So as an introduction, I would like to tell you, when solving a question, especially in general knowledge or any other general questions or even the subject questions, we have two ways of approaching a question. First thing is a content based approach, where we will have to know the right answer so that we can pick the right answer from the four options given below. Second thing is a method approach, where we will be utilizing some logical and analytical abilities of our own to solve a question and arrive at a conclusion, arrive at a right answer. So we will be dealing that. We will be explaining how will we approach a question from a content wise part and the method wise part. So the first question is, in which city Major Dhyan Sports University is established? So we have four options here: New Delhi, Amritsar, Meerut, Ahmedabad. So we don't know which is the right answer. There is two ways of approaching this question. One is, as I have mentioned earlier, it is a content based part. In order to have a knowledge about this particular content, you will have to follow the current affairs. So this is a question which was asked in 2022 session of CUET entrance examination, and Major Dhyan Sports University was established in the 2021-22 time period. So when you are writing 2023 session of CUET entrance examination, you will have to be thorough with the current affairs from 2021 to 23. For the last 2 years, you will have to have a basic idea of all the current affairs, major establishments, major awards, etc. in order to crack this question using content. Now we will, since we do not know anything about this particular question, we will go to the method wise approach, where the key word in this question is Major Dhyan Sports University. So as we know, Major Dhyan Chand is the hockey magician of India. Dhyan Chand is a hockey magician of India, and Dhyan Chand was from which state? If you know that from which state Dhyan Chand was from, we can solve this question. Dhyan Chand was actually a person who was born and brought up in Allahabad in Uttar Pradesh. So we look for a city from Uttar Pradesh in the options. New Delhi is not in Uttar Pradesh. It's near to Uttar Pradesh, but it is not in Uttar Pradesh. So we can eliminate that particular option. Amritsar is in Punjab, so that we can eliminate that option. Meerut is from Uttar Pradesh, so we will just keep that option there. Ahmedabad is from Gujarat. So the right answer is Meerut. So in this particular way, we can make intelligent guesses. Not always all the guesses will fetch us points, but still we can make intelligent guesses using some cues and logical and analytical ability. So this is a question in which where we can solve this particular question by knowing the background of Dhyan Chand. So we will move on to the second question. The rate at which banks part short-term excess liquidity with RBI is called. So this is a question from economics. This is a basic economic question related to the monetary policy of this country, whereby RBI controls the liquidity in the market. So we have four options here: repo rate, reverse repo rate, bank rate, cash reserve ratio. So here the question is asked about the rate at which banks part short-term excess liquidity with RBI. So it's something that banks give their amount to RBI. The rate is being asked. So we'll just think about the rates. So we have a cash reserve ratio here. So it's a ratio, it's not a rate. So we can eliminate that particular option. So what is the rate at which banks lend to RBI? That is the essential question. So if we know that, if we know the answer that the RBI lends to bank, the rate at which RBI lends their short-term liquidity, RBI lends to bank is repo rate, we can easily guess that the rate at which the banks lend to RBI is reverse repo rate. So option B is the right answer. So this is the way in which we can crack this particular question. This is a conceptual question. We will have to have a basic idea of some subjects like history, economics, politics, etc. to crack the CUET UG entrance examination. So this is a basic conceptual question. There is not much with which we can do with logic here. So this is the question: repo rate, reverse repo rate, bank rate, and cash reserve ratio. We can eliminate cash reserve ratio by understanding that the question is about a particular rate. So if we know that RBI is giving loans to bank, the rate at which RBI gives loan to banks is repo rate. So the reverse will be reverse repo rate. That is the conceptual way of cracking this particular question. This is an easy question. The last question about Major Dhyan Sports Academy was a difficult question, since that was from current affairs and it was pretty factual. But this particular question from RBI monetary policy is a conceptual question. This is a very core major area with which you have to prepare for a general studies paper for any examination. So that's it. So we'll move on to the third question. So here some agencies' names are given and their headquarters are listed. So we have the United Nations World Tourism Organization, we have UNESCO, we have World Trade Organization, we have International Monetary Fund or IMF, and the cities given here are Paris, France, Madrid, Spain, Washington DC, US, Geneva, Switzerland. So first thing which we will have to do in this particular question is to spot the most important organizations that we know, that we study in our syllabus. So in this 4 organizations, there is only one particular organization that we will definitely study in our high school and higher secondary classes, and that is IMF, International Monetary Fund. International Monetary Fund is an important organization, and IMF was established in a Bretton Woods conference which was held in USA. So the headquarters of IMF will be naturally in USA. So we will look for that option. We have only one particular city from US is given, that is Washington DC, US. So we can assume that the headquarters of IMF will be in Washington DC, US. So that is option D will be matched to option 3. Then we will look for the options where option D is given to 3. Option A, A2, B1, C4, D3. So here we got an option where D, IMF is matched with Washington DC, US. So we will just keep that option there, and we will read the second option. Option A, 4, B1, C3, D2. So it is said that in that particular option, IMF, it is said that the headquarters of IMF is in Madrid, Spain. So we will eliminate that particular option because that is against our assumption. So we will just eliminate option B. Then we have option C where it is given that A3, B1, C4 and D2. So D2, IMF, again it is given that the headquarters of IMF is in Madrid, Spain. So we will just eliminate that particular option also. Then we are left with the option D where it is also said that option A1, United Nations World Tourism Organization is in Paris, France. B4, UNESCO, the headquarters of UNESCO is in Geneva, Switzerland. The World Trade Organization, its headquarters in Madrid, Spain, and IMF is in Washington DC, US. So again we have 2 options where IMF is matched with Washington DC, US. So there is 2 options. So we have arrived at a 50-50. We have 2 options and we have to pick one particular option from this 2 options. So this is a way in which we can logically arrive at, our analytical ability helps us to arrive at a 50-50 options where we came at a 2 options, one among these 2 will be a right answer. Next we will have to have basic understanding about any of the other organizations so that we can arrive at the right answer. The next important organization that we know is World Trade Organization. So World Trade Organization is headquartered at, we'll look at the options. World Trade Organization, the first option, option A, it is said that World Trade Organization is headquartered at Geneva, Switzerland. In the last option D, it is said that World Trade Organization is headquartered at Madrid, Spain. If we only know that World Trade Organization is headquartered at Geneva, Switzerland, it's a basic knowledge which we should have. We should have to study the international organization. That's the content part of this particular question. We will have to study most of the international organizations and their headquarters. Actually in UET we teach all this before entrance examination. The general knowledge part, we teach all these things, all these organizations and their headquarters are detailedly dealt in our syllabus. But still, if you don't know, if you have not attended the classes of UET, you can just refer any of the current affair compilation or something like that, or Wikipedia itself, so that you get to know that the headquarters of World Trade Organization is in Geneva, Switzerland. So we will arrive at the right answer, that is option A. Option A is the right answer here. So the headquarters of United Nations World Tourism Organization is in Madrid, Spain. UNESCO is headquartered at Paris, France. World Trade Organization is in Geneva, Switzerland, and IMF is in Washington DC, US. This is not an easy question but not a difficult question. This is a moderate kind of question. So the first 3 questions we have dealt with an easy question, a conceptual easy question, a bit logical but a kind of factual moderate question, and a difficult question. That was the first question related to Major Dhyan Sports Academy. So we will move on to the 4th question. Yidan Prize for Education Development for improving learning outcomes in schools at scale is given to. So we have 4 persons here. We have to pick and choose the 2 important personalities. So Eric A. Hanushek, Angeline Murimirva, Lucky Lake, Dr. Rukmini Banerjee. Actually, this is a very difficult question. This is a very difficult question. We cannot crack this question without any basic knowledge. So we have to follow current affairs very thoroughly. But in this particular question, we have an Indian, Dr. Rukmini Banerjee. So we can kind of assume that Rukmini Banerjee will be there, because since that is an Indian, this is a question that is being asked in a kind of Indian university's entrance examination. So we can assume that Dr. Rukmini Banerjee is there, but still we can only eliminate option A. Then we are left with B and D, A and D, and C and D. So we cannot arrive at a right answer from this kind of logical elimination. We have to know this. This is a question that can be cracked only with content. But the first question related to Dhyan Chand, we had a cue, because we have to assume, we have to guess the state from which Dhyan Chand was there, and then we can relate Meerut with Uttar Pradesh, and then we can solve the question. But this particular question, we cannot do any such thing. The right answer is Eric A. Hanushek and Dr. Rukmini Banerjee. A and D is the right answer. Option A and option D is the right answer for this particular question. So this is a very difficult question. We can only crack this question only if we factually know the right answer. So the next question. This is a very easy question. This is again a match of the following question related to the Nobel laureates from India. Abhijit Banerjee, Kailash Satyarthi, C.V. Raman, Rabindranath Tagore. And the list to peace, literature, economics, physics. This is a question which every one of you should make it right. There is no excuse for making this question wrong. So we have Abhijit Banerjee, Kailash Satyarthi, C.V. Raman, and Rabindranath Tagore. The most famous person, all of these persons are famous. We should know about all these persons, but still, for a kind of a student who has completed their higher secondary education without any preparation for this entrance examination, must know Rabindranath Tagore. Rabindranath Tagore is the author of our national anthem. So we know that Rabindranath Tagore is related to what? Literature. So then we think about Rabindranath Tagore is related to literature. So we will look for the options D2. And there are two options. Yes, there are two options. That is option B and option C. We will eliminate option A and option D because D is matched to 1 in option A. Rabindranath Tagore is not related to peace, we know that. And option D, Rabindranath Tagore is not related to economics as well. So we are we are left with two options, A4, B1, C3, D2, A3, B1, C4, D2. So then we think about C.V. Raman. C.V. Raman, no, we know that the birthday of C.V. Raman in February 28 is celebrated as the World Science, not the birthday, the day in which C.V. Raman invented the Raman effect. So C.V. Raman was the first Asian to win a Nobel Prize for science. So we have C.V. Raman. C.V. Raman is related to physics. We know we have a basic idea about Raman effect and all. So option C is related to 4. So option C for option D2, so we call the right answer, that is option C. This is a very simple question. We know that Abhijit Banerjee, an Indian origin, recently was awarded with the Nobel Prize for economics. And we know Kailash Satyarthi, who worked against child labor, and he was awarded the Nobel Prize for peace in I think 5 years back with Malala Yousafzai. So this is a very simple question. You should make it right. We know Rabindranath Tagore, we know C.V. Raman, we know Abhijit Banerjee, we know Kailash Satyarthi. So we can crack this this question in a very simple way. Next, we again have a question from history. Which among the following are considered as Vedangas? Vedangas. So we have 5 options here: Kalpa, Ayurveda, Vyakaran, Manusmriti, Jyotish. So this is, let's come to the question. We can crack this. If you know the content part, this is a very easy portion from history. In ancient history, we teach very importantly, very significant portions related to Vedas and Vedic literature. So this is a very simple question. We can solve it content wise. We teach that in UAT. But if you don't know that, let's think about in a general sense. So which among the following are considered as Vedangas? So the term Vedanga is important. Veda we know. Vedas are the sacred text of Indian culture. And Anga. Anga means a kind of organ. So Veda, the organs of Vedas. That is something that we should pick from this particular question. Vedanga is the keyword. So we have 5 options here. Kalpa, Ayurveda, Vyakaran, Manusmriti, Jyotisha. So here the most important text that we know is Manusmriti. Manusmriti is an ancient Indian treatise on the social codes and something which was written, even dates back before Vedas. Manusmriti does not have a direct relation with Veda. If we know a basic idea about Manusmriti, we can understand that that is not directly linked with Veda. It is not a part of Veda. It is an entirely different text that enumerated the rules and regulations of a particular society. So option D, we can eliminate option D. We should eliminate option D from the option. So A, B, D. Option A can be eliminated. B, D. Option B can be eliminated. Option C They're A, C, E, so we cannot eliminate that. And option D, A, C and D. Again we can eliminate the third option and we will arrive at the right answer, option C. So this is a kind of question in which we can eliminate all the improbable, lesser probable options and arrive at the most probable right answer, that is A, C and E. The three Vedangas are Kalpa, Vyakaran and Jyotisha. Vyakaran, as the term suggests, is related to what grammar. Jyotisha is related to astrology and Kalpa is related to rituals. So these are just the examples of some previous year questions which we have discussed today, and this is the way in which the classes are being taken in UET. We'll give a brief idea, a minimal idea about the contents you have to prepare. We'll teach classes on general knowledge, current affairs, history, economics, etc. so that you can prepare a minimal content which we can study. And the second part is a very crucial part that we will deal here is the method in which you crack questions, the way of eliminating improbable options and arriving at the right answer, the way in which your logical ability, your analytical ability can be used to solve the questions. The method part, we will use mock tests and one-on-one interaction, etc. to improve your answer solving skills. So the details of the entrance course is being given here. You can contact the administrators of UET to seek admission here. You can attend some more classes and then confirm your admission. So we'll come up with more and more videos related to the content part and method part in solving examination. We will have more and more discussions on previous year question papers. By this time, I'll be signing out. Thank you for watching.